Meet James, a 28-year-old retail manager making $42,000 a year in Atlanta. 6 months ago, his bank account hit $0 after paying rent, student loans, and basic expenses. He wanted to invest but thought you needed thousands of dollars to start. Every finance article talked about diversified portfolios, index funds, and compound interest, but nobody explained how to invest when you literally have nothing. James assumed investing was for people with money already. He was wrong. Today, James has $2,847 invested across 4 different assets, contributing $127 every 2 weeks automatically. He's building real wealth on a tight budget, and he started with absolutely $0. No inheritance, no windfall, just a systematic approach that works when you're broke. My name is Ryan, a financial specialist. I spend way too much time analyzing how everyday money decisions actually play out in real life. And what I've discovered is that the barrier to investing isn't money, it's knowing the exact sequence of steps to take when you're starting from nothing. Let's break down what James thought about investing and why he was stuck at zero. The traditional investment advice assumes you have capital ready to deploy. Max out your 401k, invest in index funds, diversify your portfolio. These are great strategies for people with discretionary income, but when you're at $0, these instructions are useless. They skip the crucial first steps. James looked at his budget: $3,500 monthly take-home pay. Rent, $1,200. Student loans, $340. Car payment, $285. Insurance, $180. Food, $400. Utilities, $180. Phone, $75. Gas, $120. That's $2,780 in fixed expenses. Remaining $720 for everything else: clothes, entertainment, repairs, unexpected costs. The math looked impossible. How do you invest when $720 barely covers monthly variables? Traditional advice said just invest what you can, but James needed a specific system, not vague encouragement. Here's what he didn't understand. Investing from $0 isn't about having money. It's about creating an automated system that builds wealth before you notice the money's gone. Welcome to what I call the zero-start paradox, the frustrating reality that investment education assumes existing capital, when the people who most need investing guidance are those starting from nothing. Let's calculate what James's doing nothing strategy actually cost him. For the 18 months before he started investing, James kept his spare money in checking, averaging $600 per month in unallocated funds. That's $10,800 over 18 months, sitting at 0% interest. Meanwhile, inflation at 3.2% meant his purchasing power decreased by $346 over that period. He thought he was being responsible by keeping money available, but he was actually losing wealth every single month. If James had invested that same $600 monthly starting 18 months earlier in a simple S&P 500 index fund, averaging 10% annually, he'd have accumulated $11,340 instead of $10,800, and more importantly, he'd have developed the investing habit that compounds for decades. The opportunity cost of his "I'll start when I have more money" mindset was $540 in the first 18 months alone, but the real cost was the lost time and missing compound growth trajectory.
The zero-start paradox operates across every income level. People earning $35,000 think they need to wait until they earn $50,000. People earning $50,000 wait for $75,000. People earning $75,000 wait for $100,000. The income level changes, but the excuse remains identical: I'll invest when I have more. A 2024 study by Fidelity found that 67% of Americans earning under $50,000 annually don't invest because they believe they don't have enough money to start. Meanwhile, micro-investing platforms have shown that people investing just $5 weekly from age 25 to 65 accumulate $76,000 at 8% returns, purely from money they wouldn't have missed. The Federal Reserve Survey of Household Economics shows that households who start investing with under $100 initial amounts have higher lifetime participation rates than those who wait to invest larger sums. Why? Because starting creates the habit, and habits compound faster than money. But the real damage isn't just financial. Let's talk about what waiting does to your future. James spent 18 months feeling behind. Every conversation about retirement, investing, or wealth building reminded him he wasn't doing it yet. He felt financially paralyzed, working hard, paying bills, but building nothing for the future. The psychological weight was real. Studies show people who don't invest experience financial anxiety even when making decent incomes. The brain recognizes you're running on a treadmill, working constantly but not building wealth. This creates learned helplessness and financial fatalism. James watched colleagues with similar incomes talk about investment returns, portfolio allocation, and retirement projections. He felt excluded from conversations about financial growth because he hadn't started. This deepened the paralysis. I'm too far behind to catch up now. His retirement projection was devastating. At zero savings rate with only Social Security, he'd work until 70 plus and still face poverty in old age. The stress of this reality affected his current mental health, creating a vicious cycle of anxiety and inaction. Let me teach you the complete zero-to-investing system James used, step by step. Phase 1, the micro start, weeks 1 through 4. Your only goal is proving you can invest, not building wealth yet. Open a micro investing app, Acorns, Robinhood, or similar, that allows fractional shares and has no minimums. Set up automatic roundups. Every purchase rounds to the nearest dollar and invests the difference. Start with just $5 weekly automatic transfers. This phase builds the investing identity. I am someone who invests. The amount is irrelevant. The habit is everything. Phase 2, the savings wedge, weeks 5 through 12. Once automatic investing runs smoothly, create a tiny emergency buffer. Open a high-yield savings account earning 4 to 5%. Set automatic transfer of $25 weekly. Target $300 emergency fund. Covers minor unexpected expenses. This prevents you from liquidating investments during small crises, protecting your investing habit. You're now saving and investing simultaneously on a tight budget. Phase 3, the employer match, weeks 13 through 20. If your employer offers 401k matching, this phase is critical. Calculate the minimum contribution needed to get full match. This is free money, typically 50 to 100% instant return. Adjust budget to contribute at least enough for full match. If no employer match exists, skip to phase 4. The match is the highest return investment available. Never leave it on the table. Phase 4, the Roth expansion, weeks 21 through 32. Open a Roth IRA, Fidelity, Vanguard, or Schwab. Start contributing $50 monthly automatically. Invest in a target date fund matching your retirement year. This auto-balances and requires zero knowledge. Roth grows tax-free forever. Even small contributions at young ages create massive tax-free wealth decades later due to compound growth. Phase 5, the percentage increase, week 33 plus. Every time you get a raise, promotion, or pay increase, immediately increase your automatic investments by 50% of the raise amount. Got a $200 month raise? Increase investments by $100 month automatically before lifestyle inflation absorbs it. This raise capture system ensures your investing grows with your income without feeling the pinch. This 5-phase system took James from zero to consistently investing $127 bi-weekly, $254 monthly, within 32 weeks, while maintaining the same lifestyle and building an emergency fund simultaneously.
Here's how to know if you're ready to start each phase. Phase 1 readiness check. Can you identify $5 weekly you currently waste? If yes, start immediately. If no, track spending for 1 week. You'll find it. Phase 2 readiness check. Have you maintained Phase 1 for 4 weeks without stopping? If yes, add savings. If no, fix Phase 1 first. Something's wrong with your automatic system. Phase 3 readiness check. Does your employer offer matching? If yes, calculate the percentage needed and adjust budget. If match requires more than you can afford, contribute what you can and increase gradually. Phase 4 readiness check. Are phases 1 through 3 running automatically without you thinking about them? If yes, add Roth IRA. If you're still manually managing earlier phases, automate fully before expanding. The key insight: each phase must become automatic and invisible before adding the next layer. You're building a wealth system, not managing investments manually. This is the difference between waiting and starting. James's coworker, Sarah, also made $42,000 annually. She used the "I'll invest when I have more money" approach, waiting for the right time with a bigger lump sum. Over the same 32 weeks James built his system, Sarah accumulated $1,200 in her checking account, waiting to invest it properly. She felt responsible saving that lump sum, but she never pulled the trigger. There was always a reason to wait. Meanwhile, her $1,200 earned $0 and lost $38 to inflation. James's system-based approach: $2,847 invested, grown to $2,960 from market gains, $113 growth, plus the automatic system now running permanently. His investments will continue growing for decades without additional decision-making. Someone who waits for perfect conditions never starts. Someone who starts imperfectly creates unstoppable momentum. James sits at his kitchen table on a Sunday morning, coffee beside him, reviewing his investment accounts on his phone. 6 months ago, this screen didn't exist. Now he sees 4 accounts working simultaneously. Micro investing app, $487 invested. High yield savings, $612 emergency fund. 401k with employer match, $1,320, including $440 employer contribution. Roth IRA, $541. Total wealth built in 32 weeks, $2,960 actual value from $2,407 contributions, plus $113 growth, plus $440 free employer money. He's building real wealth on a retail manager's salary. But here's what changed most. James no longer feels behind. He's not a spectator in wealth-building conversations, he's a participant. The financial anxiety has transformed into cautious optimism. He has a system that works regardless of his income level. Here's what James finally understood. You don't need money to start investing. You need a system that creates money to invest. Waiting for enough money means never starting, because enough never arrives. The goal isn't having money, it's building the automatic infrastructure that creates wealth invisibly. The shift isn't about earning more or spending less. It's about designing automated systems that build wealth before you can spend it, starting with amounts so small you don't notice them disappearing. Starting beats waiting, every single time, forever. If this system changed how you see investing from zero, hit that like button and subscribe, because I'm breaking down the exact steps that turn broke into building wealth. The question isn't whether you have money to invest, it's whether you can afford to wait another day while inflation quietly steals your future.